Hello, humans, monsters, and all other creatures. Savard is here, coming back with part 5 of What If Deku Had Air Cannon. And without wasting any time, let's just get right into it. As where we last left off, Izuku has been attacked by none other than his oldest friend, Gigantomachia, the big creature that he was normally playing with from time to time when his father taking him into the forest. In the end, after Giganto fighting against Izuku and of course Stain, which is of course Izuku partner, or you can say the person that he at least can trust for now. In the end, Giganto tried to kill Izuku, but he heard in the radio around his neck the sound of All For One telling him to stop, and that's enough. Stain didn't waste any time and got hold of Izuku and ran away as fast as possible. In the end, he managed to leave the place and to hide somewhere deeper in the forest. As before we get right into it, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's jump into it. As before we cut into Izuku and Stain and what are they doing right now, let's cut into the heroes. Let's see what the new information that All Might have got and what he could possibly do against this massive power of Izuku and none other than his old arch nemesis All For One. So right now, All Might just sitting down on a chair by the side of the detective and also the chief of police, waiting for someone while they are just talking. As of course Principal Nezu is also there, as he said, interesting, this kid is really having such a great abilities. As they are just watching the video of Izuku, as the detective said, yeah, you are right, Principal Nezu. What we know right now is this kid have the same destructive power, which is called it, air cannon. We called it air cannon, as it was one of the quirks of All For One before. We doesn't know how did he get it or why does he even have it, because we were thinking that this is some sort of a favorite ability of All For One. But if he got it, that means one of two things. One, this kid has just born with it, or second, he been given it. He's been giving this quirk from All For One himself. As after that, All Might said, I still doesn't understand. Why the hell would All For One give his quirk into a random kid? And how the hell did he even choose this kid? This kid is named Izuku Midori and he's a quirkless. Maybe he took him for some sort of experiment, but why would he give him his own quirk? This is just something that I cannot understand. All For One is not someone that will just gonna give his quirk freely like that. He will gonna only do that if someone pleased him very well or something like that, but this seems very random. And also, this kid is supposed to be someone that's just a normal kid, but his movement, his abilities, and all his techniques are just on another different level, which basically make me so confused at the same time, so wondering who the hell he is. As after that, immediately the door opened up, revealing Gran Torino, as Gran Torino said, Toshinori, what do you want now? You took me out of retirement for something new? What is it this time? I swear to God, if you telling me that All For One have came back and you are just imagining things again, I'm gonna kick you on your legs, understand? As after that, immediately All Might said, no, it's not that, Gran Torino, but something else. Just watch this. As after that, Gran Torino said, I swear to God, if it's the same video that you always sending me about the little cat that's playing on the saxophone, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Understand this, Toshinori? If it was the same stupid video of the cat, I'm gonna kick you between your legs. As after that, All Might start shaking a little bit and said, alright, Gran Torino, please just watch this. As Principal Nezu said, Gran Torino, it's nice to have you here, and I would like you to watch this video and to take your to see what think about it. As Gran Torino said, alright, hit me. As after that, he only see him the footage of Izuku fight against Death Arms, Mount Lady, and Kamo Woods. In the end, of course, he killing Kamo Woods, as Gran Torino is just shocked as he said, wait, this is air cannon. This is, as All Might said, the quirk of All for One. Yeah, this time he really came back. Or maybe this kid's just having the same quirk. As after that, Gran Torino said, do you have any information about this kid? As All Might said, well, we have. We are not sure that he is Izuku Midori because he covered most of his face with that metal mask, but from the his eye color and his hair color, we can say that he is Izuku Midoriya, the same kid that has been lost in the incident from a couple of days before. You know it, the incident where that one building and the city blocks has been destroyed by some weird strong wave of airs. As after that, Gran Torino said, so you mean that he used it to destroy the place? Why would he do that? As All Might said, I really doesn't know, and that's why I got you here, Gran Torino. I was hoping that you might find anything. As of course, the chief of police said, well, Gran Torino, do you have any ideas about why could possibly this kid have the same quirk of All for One? Or something like that, or maybe even if he's working with him himself. As after that, Gran Torino said, well, I'm gonna say one thing, I really doesn't know why this kid have this quirk, or how the hell did he even manage to get this such of talent on such a young age, but to be honest with you, he reminding me a lot of All for One when he had his own white hair. As after that, All Might said, yeah, you're actually right, Gran Torino. As he just looking on the footage and seeing Izuku as his eyes whiting and said, he's really looking like him. Too much. As after that, immediately everyone getting, quiet. As Principal Nezu said, guys, you think the same thing that I thinking about, right? As after that, the chief of police said, could it be? The detective continues saying, there is no way. All for One will not gonna do something like that. As All Might continues saying, no way that could be possible. I know All for One very well. He will not gonna make something like that. This is impossible. This cannot be his own son. No, All for One is too evil to have even a son. Even if he had one, he would have already killed him the moment that he even came to this world. That's impossible. As after that, Gran Torino said, well, this is just my theory. I mean, he have a white hair, a red eyes, air cannon. Who knows? Maybe he have the quirk itself. As after that, All Might getting a little bit angry and said, there is no way this kid his own son. And even if that's true, why is his mother have died? What we have of information that there was 3 villains that attacked his house, and they just killed his mother and killed him. At least that's what we think. But no, this can't be. There's no way. As Gran Torino said, maybe it's All for One's the one that sent those villains. As after that, All Might said, what? As the chief of police said, well, to be actually honest with you, that might be actually a good theory. The detective continues saying, well, yeah. I'm gonna say what's happened in my mind. This is how the things played out, at least as I think they played. Now let's imagine this in our mind. Izuku, a quirkless kid, and he have been bullied by his classmates from the information that we got from his school. His mother is a normal woman that living inside a house, an apartment building to be honest. Her husband, which is Hisashi Midoriya, has gone into America to work. But one day he died in an accident by someone burning his face and his head. We couldn't recognize his face, but we know that he is Hisashi, at least from his clothes and from his ring around his finger, and that he having even the Inko number and his own son number. But one day Izuku came back to his house, villains attacked him inside his house, killed his mother, and whatever happened after that, if it was All for One or maybe Izuku himself, a strong ability or a strong power has been awakened, and after that such a strong air coming out of someone's arms, which is basically I really doesn't know who is exactly, if it was All for One or Izuku. but in the end he just ran away. After that, All For One founding him, and I suppose that he told him the truth. Or maybe not even tell him the truth, that was the reason for his own mother death, the death of his own wife. All For One has killed his wife to take his son and to turn him into his successor, I suppose. As after that, All Might just putting his head between his hands and said, now, if you put it like this, I can see All For One doing something like this, but why the hell this kid will gonna agree on this? Why the hell would he even agree on something like this? There must be something missing. This can't be just like that. There is one piece in this mystery that we cannot unravel. We need to know the truth, but it's just that there is another piece that has been lost from the board, and we cannot find it. Thinking about all of this just make my head go in pain. As after that, Gran Torino said, "Calm down, Toshinori. Whatever is this kid, we could possibly get him on our side in the end. If he really doesn't know anything about the truth of his father, or the reason for his mother death, that if All For One was even his father, this is just a theory, Toshinori, because his real father body has been buried in America. Remember that. Maybe All For One has faked his own death, or maybe something else, but this is just a theory. I'm gonna go. If you need me, just call me. Alright, Toshi." As after that, of course, All Might said, "Thank you, Gran Torino." As Gran Torino just leave, and after that, Principal Nezu said, "Well, All Might, I think it's time for you to go and maybe, go with the other student in the USJ, because they are waiting for you." As after that, All Might said, "Maybe you're right. I need to go. Alright, I'm gonna leave both of you here. Are you okay with that, detective?" As the detective said, "Fair enough, All Might. Go and enjoy your trip with the class. I'm gonna talk with Principal Nezu about any other evidence that we have." As after that, All Might just leave the place, and in the end, in the middle of the way, he meeting with none other than the Ida himself. As of course, Ida just looking so scared and so tired, he start talking with All Might. But while that happening, let's cut into Izuku and Stain that right now hiding in a little cave deep inside the forest, and the sun starts to set. As after that, immediately, Izuku waking up and said, "Stain, what happened?" As Stain said, "You're awake. Good. I thought that you died." As after that, Izuku said, "Died? What happened? The last thing that I remember is Giganto attacking us, and after that I used my power." And as Stain said, "That was such a great move of you. You gave us enough time to be able to run away. But I'll have to tell you this. Your power did absolutely nothing to that monster." As Izuku said, "Alright." As Izuku tried to stand up, but he immediately fall on his knees and starts screaming in pain. As Stain said, "Don't move. Your left arm is broken, and your legs is so injured. Just stay down, alright?" As after that, Izuku said, "Alright, Stain." As after that, Stain said, "Look, we will gonna have to change our place. Maybe we're gonna have to go into the city from now on. If this forest having that weird beast just running around of it, we will not be safe here. Good enough. I have another hideout in the city, so we will be able to hide there." As after that, Izuku said, "Alright." And after that, immediately, Izuku stayed in the cave after, of course, Stain bandaging Izuku arms, and they just changed their, of course, clothes for something else. After, a couple of minutes trying to look around their old hideout to see if Gigantomachia has left the place, but they say it all, see it all in destruction and things like that. As they just took what they can and immediately go into another hideout in the city. As Izuku just coming inside the building, and or you can say just abandoned warehouse. As he said, "Well, it's not the most clean thing, but it will gonna do. As after that, Stain said, Izuku, I want you to do something. As Izuku said, what is it, Stain? As Stain said, first of all, go and wear some sort of a hoodie on your head to make sure that no one will gonna see you. And second of all, go and get some groceries for us, will you? As after that, Izuku said, groceries? Why do you want them? As after that, Stain said, because we need to eat. We can't just stay here without food. Now go and get something from the market, will you? As after that, Izuku said, alright. And after that, Izuku just get out of the hideout and immediately gone into the city. Right now is night time and Izuku starts just looking left and right, seeing a couple of people as he go past UA as he said, UA, huh? One time I was thinking about myself that I will gonna get into this building and become a hero, but look at me now, running from the police officers and just scared that the heroes will gonna capture me. So very, very weird how the table have turned. Well, I should not think about that anymore. The time has already gone and I cannot go back in time, so I just need to focus on my revenge and finding that person that killed my parents. As after that, immediately Izuku go into a little market and taking some things. In the end, he came out from the market, and after that, he hear a sound from an alleyway. As after that, he got inside the alleyway and seeing a girl being attacked by someone else. By a couple of villains, 3 villains to be precise, as the, black-haired girl said, please, someone help me, please! As after that, immediately Izuku, just looking into the alleyway and said, I mean, I can help her, but should I do that? As after that, one of course, the people or the villains getting hold of the girl and was about to stab her, but immediately the knife going flying out of his hand. And when they look back, they only see a glowing red eyes from under a black hoodie jacket, with the left arm being holded forward, and his Izuku, of course, holding his fingers to throw another air bullet, with some air just going around his body and just steaming. As after that, the villain said, who are you, kid? As Izuku said, put your hands off of her before I break it to you. As after that, the villain said, oh, what? Like you could possibly do. But before he managed to continue, Izuku just, of course, throwing his fingers forward, just like how he using all, one for all normally, and just throwing a couple of air pressures bullets on the villain, as he hit him in his body, and after that, throwing him into the wall, as the villain going down and being knocked off. As the other 2 looking at Izuku and said, well, what do you want, kid? As Izuku said, I want you to leave the girl. Isn't that understandable? As after that, the villain said, yeah, whatever. And after that, immediately the villain just walking backward a little bit as he starts sinking into his own shadow. As Izuku said, what? But immediately a hand's getting hold of Izuku's neck from behind. As Izuku looking behind of him with his right arm, seeing the villain that he's just, synced into his shadow from a couple of seconds ago. As he immediately got hold of him, and the second villain that's right now in front of Izuku said, you're done! As he immediately going at Izuku to throw a punch directly into his guts. Izuku immediately taking his hand or his right arm downward and immediately throwing an air cannon into the ground. As he immediately starts, he pushed himself up in the air, and the one that right now getting hold of his neck, losing his grip, as Izuku got hold of his arm and throwing an air cannon into his stomach and making him, throw some blood out of his mouth. And after that, Izuku, while he's still falling from the sky, immediately kicked the person in his face and throw him on the other person right now on the ground. As Izuku using air cannon to lower his speed and to fall very perfectly on the ground. The other guy just throwing the body of his friend off of his body and said, you idiot, I'm gonna fucking kill you by myself. As Izuku said, we will see about that. As after that, the guy throwing a punch on Izuku dodging it into the left side, and the guy hand being stuck inside the wall. As he take it out, and after that start throwing punches left and right on Izuku, but his power and his speed are so pathetic, especially for Izuku after training with Stain. In the end, Izuku covering his left arm with the air and using air punch, throwing a punch directly into the guy's stomach as the guy starts spitting some blood and falling on his knees as he said, "Who the hell are you?" As Izuku said, "Nah, I'm no one, just sit down, little dog," as he immediately kicked the guy in his face, knocking him out. As after that, he looking back on the girl, and the girl just looking at him as she said, thank you. Thank you very much. Who are you?" As after that, Izuku said, you can call me... I'm no one. Just, are you okay?" As the girl said, "Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you very much for helping me." As Izuku said, "No worries. Now, go back into your home because this streets are no safe place for anyone. You should run away." As after that, the girl said, "Thank you again." And after that, she just left the place. After that, immediately, Izuku tried to leave the place and go away, but he suddenly hearing from his back someone clapping. As he looking back, he see a guy with a white hair and a purple, how can I say it? A purple suit with a cigar in his mouth, smiling at him as he said, well, 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 would you look at that? We have such a great talents and at such a young age right here. Kid, can I know your name? As Izuku said, "Who are you?" As the guy said, "Oh, yeah, where's my manners? You can call me Gren. Nice to meet you. So, who are you?" As after that, Izuku said, "My name is no important." As after that, Gren said, "Oh, really? What? Why aren't you telling me your name, Izuku?" As after that, Izuku getting back a little bit and said, how do you..." As Gren said, "Oh, don't worry, it's nothing much. I mean, you are the one that did that destruction in the... what was it name? Yeah, the apartment building last couple of weeks, right? I mean, a kid has been disappeared, and second of all, a villain has been attacking the city using some weird abilities of air and controlling wind or something like that. And now, right now, I have a white-haired kid with the red eyes standing in front of me, hiding his face under a hoodie jacket. Yeah, while he was defending against some girls in the street in the middle of the night, playing a vigilante role." Weird, right? As after that, Izuku said, "How do you know all of this?" As Gren said, "I was keeping an eye on you, Midoriya. And I know that you want to take revenge upon someone, the one that killed your family, right?" As Gren just taken his cigar out and breathed out some smoke. As Izuku said, "Yeah, and what do you want? What do you want from me?" As after that, Gren said, "The question is not what I want from you. The question is, are you willing to do what I will gonna ask from you?" As after that, Izuku said, "And what are you asking for?" As Gren said, "Well, you see, I would gonna need you to help some villains on my side. They call the League of Villains. They need some recruits, and you will gonna be a suitable, accept for their team or something like that. And I'm sure that you're gonna like Shigaraki, the leader of the team." As after that, Izuku said, "And what do I get when I joining your little fan club?" As after that, Gren said, "I like your spirit, kid. Well, you know that I'm, just like I told you, I know a lots of information about you, and you get two things. First, I'm not gonna tell the police officers and the heroes about you. Second, I'm gonna help you to find whoever killed your family. How about that? I think this is a good deal, right? And also, do you remember the money that's on the line here? I also will gonna pay you some money." As after that, Izuku just looking on Gren while he's just holding his hand forward for Izuku. As Izuku said, "I'm gonna need to think about it." As Gren said, "Well, you are such a slow guy, huh? Anyways, here is my number. If you ever changed your mind or want to join, just call me and I will make sure to call you back. Now, excuse me because I'm gonna leave." As after that, Izuku said, "No, excuse me, I am the one that's gonna leave." And after that, Izuku just get out of the alleyway and leave the place. Gren just looking back at him, and after that he said in his mind, "It's just like he said to me. Is slowly but surely. Smart kid, but someone that has emotion controlling him a little bit. Anyways, I think I need to call someone. And after that, Grin just taken his phone out of his pockets, and after that he said, "Hello?" As on the other side he heard a sound saying, "Ah, Grin. It's nice hearing your voice. Did you found him?" As after that Grin said, "Yeah, just like you told me. He was in this alleyway specifically," which is kinda surprised me. I didn't know that you know his place that specific. As after that, on the other side, the guy said, "Well, in the end, he is my son, so I should know where he is at all times, right?" As Grin said, "Well, he told me that he will gonna think about it, and I give him my number, so I'm sure that he will gonna think about joining us very soon." As All For One said, "I'm hopeful that he will gonna accept your deal, but for now, go and find another couple of recruits for Shigaraki, would you?" As after that Grin said, "Alright," as he closed the phone, and after that he said, "Alright, you can come outside." And after that the girl with the black hair come outside, as the girl said, "To be honest with you, he was looking cute, and I wanted to kill him. Maybe just drinking some of his blood." As Grin said, "Alright, Toge, you can stop using this weird transformation of yours. He already ran away." As after that Toge said, "Alright." And after that Toge just taken off her disguise and said, "So his name is Izuku, right?" As Grin said, "Yep. Now let's go and to find that other guy. His name I believe is Dobby. Let's just go and find him, and after that I can introduce you to the League of Villains." As Toge said, "Yay! I wish that this kid will gonna join us, because he's looking so cute, and I want to drink some of his blood. Would you let me do that, Grin?" As after that Grin said, "You should not ask me, you should ask him, that if he want to join. But for now, I think that we should go." And after that Toge said, "Alright," and immediately Toge and Grin going to find Dobby. By this time, Izuku has come back into the hideout with Stain, as Stain welcoming him back and said, "You got late, what happened with you?" As Izuku said, "Stain, I have something to talk with you about." As Stain said, "What is it?" As Izuku explaining what's happened to him, and Stain said, "You got in a fight in an alleyway defending a girl, and after that, from nowhere, a guy telling you that he was searching for you a lot has just came out from the shadows calling himself Gren, telling you that he wants you to join some sort of a villain team, right?" As Izuku said, "Yeah, that's right." As Stain said, "Let me guess, their name is the League of Villains, huh?" As Izuku said, how did you?" But immediately Stain turning on the TV and Izuku seeing the news, and there was an attack on the USJ. As Izuku said, "You mean that?" As Stain said, "Yeah, they want to attack UA and to kill All Might, as I believe." As Izuku said, "All Might, huh? I didn't think about him from a long time." As Stain said, "So, what are you gonna do now?" As Izuku said, "Well, I was going to ask you." As Stain said, "Ask me? Why asking me? This is your revenge, and this is your mission. My mission is to kill fake heroes and to purge those that calling themselves heroes while they are not. Your mission is to kill the person that killed your family. And after that, you can join me or maybe go in your own way, Izuku. I'm just helping you because no one will gonna give you a hand of help other than me. And I saw that you were scared when you was little kid when I found you in the alleyway. You were scared from what you could possibly do. And if I just left you to go along in the alleyways, I know that someone will gonna use you in the end." As Izuku said, "Really, Stain? I didn't think that you thinking about me this much. Are you really serious about that?" As Stain said, "Whatever. Now, whatever you want to do, Midoriya, I'm gonna agree on it. Just do whatever you think is right. Do whatever your heart is telling you to do." And after that, Stain just going out and said, "I'm gonna go to kill some fake heroes. But right now, you just stay down and protect the place, alright? As Izuku said, alright, Stain. And after that, Izuku just, of course, Stain just leave the place. In the end, Izuku just looking on the number and after that taking a deep breath and said, alright, as he immediately just calling it, and on the other side he heard the sound of Grin. As he, of course, Grin said, I was waiting for your call. You're calling me faster than I expected. As Izuku said, where should I meet you exactly? As on the other side, Grin just smiling. And this is gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Savage was here.